All right, welcome to a brand new episode of Seward Sound Words here on 91.7 KIBH FM Seward and on our YouTube channel at Sacktown. I am so happy to have Bardarson here beside me for today's show. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm very happy, Sean.
Yeah, we've been trying to make this happen, and here we are,
right.
Midsummer in the studio, and I'm really excited to hear about your new book, Boardwalk Footsteps, and just talk about the process.
Yeah.
And
here's the book.
There it is. This came out in November 2024, so a new publication by Cirque Press. As you can see, it is quite thick. Dot put a lot of work into this.
Well, that's because it has so many photographs.
Loaded with photos. You're getting a lot there. She's going to be reading from this book here on the show, and then there is a reading at the library coming up on August 5th, which features local authors Bardarson, poet Shauna Pataki, and Doug Capra, who all have new books either out with Cirque Press or Doug's on the way. So that'll be a can't miss event coming up at the Seward Library August 5th. That's a Tuesday at 6 p.m. Bardarson, I think any Seward listener would recognize this name. Dot is an iconic Seward artist. Really fun to chat just before we went on about how things started for you and getting to know 5 other artists. You find each other and formed a little guild here in Seward and did some shows. Dot has a show at the Ranting Raven right now. It's up till July 30th. So a few more days, another week to check out that show of paintings and just check.
Most of the paintings are originals.
Nice.
So they're high end, they're expensive. But there are a few giclée prints there that are very affordable.
Awesome. And just to go in and see this museum gallery, walk through, get inspired.
Oh, I love Ranting Raven.
Of course. Yes, we all do.
Yeah.
So this show's going on right now. Dot first exhibited work here in Seward in 1971. So we're talking about 54, years
Yeah, that's right.
Of being a working artist, displaying new work in Seward. Pretty amazing. Seward is such a place for artists. It's a place to be inspired. A place where you can get time and space that art needs in order to create. And I think, just going back so far, Dot, you had a lot to do with, establishing Seward as a place for artists painting all the time.
Right.
She recently, in 2019, was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Governor Award for the Arts. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Deal.
And that was partly because of leadership in the arts.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. Helping other artists out.
Yeah.
Paving the way, making the space. Yeah. So thank you for that. Today we're here.
This year, I nominated Jennifer Hedke for that award.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because of all the work she's done with murals.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, we could get into so much. We're here to really talk about the new book, Boardwalk Footsteps. Yep. Of course, we're going to talk about art as well. Dot Bardarson sitting here. So I just want to read you a little about the book, Boardwalk Footsteps. The title is a vividly revised remote Alaska cannery's untold stories of resilience, adventure, love, offering an intimate glimpse into a forgotten piece of history. Dot began her marriage on a fish tender working as a deckhand for her husband. She arrives in Alaska with her children in the summer of 1963 when the state is only 4 years old. She's there to be with her husband, Lene, now superintendent of the Chatham Cannery in Sitco Bay. Boardwalk Footsteps, Dot Bardarson, thank you so much. Yeah. Take it away.
Well, you used the word remote. You can't believe how remote this place was. The only way you could get there was by float plane or boat. So we were cut off from the world. We were self-sufficient. We had our own electricity, our own water supply from a reservoir. And I'm going to read from the book.
Awesome.
Yeah. Canneries were so isolated. Oh, about the canneries, there were many canneries. We were just one of many, many canneries that eventually stopped existing.
Okay.
either by fire or abandonment. And I've often wondered how the insurance companies handled that. Anyway, during the these canneries were built sometimes in the 1800s.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think they were pretty much all gone by 1918. I got to remember it's 20th century.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
got to think back.
Yeah.
1980. I'm sure they were all gone.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are remnants, and Chatham was one of the casualties.
Okay.
I think they wanted canneries to be on the road system.
Right.
You know, it's so much more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can imagine being cut off from the rest of the world and trying to
Right.
function. You know, you had to have mechanics who could fix things.
Sure.
You couldn't go down to the hardware store.
Right.
You couldn't even call up on the phone to order anything because we didn't even have a telephone.
You got what you got. You're self-sufficient. You're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
But even, just like I think about delivering fish, like after it's at the cannery, that's got to be a whole long process. You could see that transition. But your book takes place before that transition when the industry was these remote canneries, which is really cool. And, Chatham may have gone, but it's forever saved in your book. So.
That's right. And that's one of the reasons that I wrote the book.
Absolutely.
I felt a responsibility to record this history because I didn't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah. And you know what it meant to you as a special place. And this is a book. You knew it.
And then the other reason that I wanted to write the book was for my family and my friends.
Of course. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll read from the book here. Canneries were so isolated that when our family arrived in Chatham, it didn't even have a telephone. I already mentioned that. If there was an emergency, one could call on the radio for a plane to come from Juneau, 55 miles away.
Okay.
If the superintendent didn't want other people listening, he'd have to take a float plane to Sitka, 40 miles away, over a mountain range to make a sensitive phone call. Suppose he didn't want any of the fishermen listening in as he talked on the radio. So
there's a change in times.
He'd have to fly to Sitka to make a single telephone call.
Yeah. That would happen. This gives us good geography region-wise. Now we're in southeast Juneau, Sitka, pretty close by. 55 miles. Yep, cool.
If you flew from Juneau to Sitka, you'd fly right over the cannery.
Oh, there we go. Mm-hmm. So, that would be the next stop for where the product would go to go off from Juneau or Sitka, right? I assume.
No, it probably went to Seattle.
Oh, okay, straight from. Gotcha.
The finished cans.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Getting in the weeds a little bit there, but this is just interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to lay back and let you just read because I think listeners want to just like get into this book.
Well, what else would you like to know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I know you brought several. I know you brought some other experts. Why don't you go on with the next one? Does that sound good?
Well, let's talk about the children.
Yes.
So I had to pile the children into a Cessna.
Right.
And sometimes it took two to get us here if we had a lot of luggage, and we basically had one suitcase apiece.
Yeah.
But then I had all my art supplies and stuff. So a few times we had to split the kids up. But flying over Chatham Straits and looking down from the plane, the pilot said, "Well, I'm going to swoop down on the plane, and Dory, you're eating your banana there. When I say drop, you drop the banana onto the boat." And, we're looking at each other thinking, what? So he swooped down and she dropped the banana, and the fishermen start raising their fists because it's bad luck to have bananas on a boat.
Yeah. So this is your daughter on board the plane.
Yeah.
Drops a banana
And
out.
she was she was close to being 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good aim at that point.
Yeah, right.
That's a pretty good story.
Yeah, it is. Well, anyway, I'm reading from the book, page 302.
Okay.
Our kids thank us all the time for letting them grow up at Chatham Cannery, but it's probably just as well I didn't know everything they got into at the time. So I got the kids together when I knew that I was writing the book. Dory, Blaine, and Rolf Bardarson. And we sat in the office and watched the movies. And they started sharing stories. One of their favorite games was something called Stretch.
Okay.
So you have Dory and Blaine hanging on to Rolf, who has his hands out on the dock and the other hand out on the boat.
Okay.
And as the water is moving, it tends to take the boat away from the dock.
Yeah.
And then comes back together again. Well, it's called Stretch because if it got too bad, then somebody would fall in the water. Well, Rolf was only a little boy, he wasn't even 4.
Yeah.
4 years old. And Dory had to fish him out at one point. Fortunately, the water wasn't very deep then, and they were wearing life jackets. But and I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went down to play in the native village and wound up on the floats.
Mm-hmm. Sounds fun.
Okay,
like
here's a reading from page 131.
Okay.
Along the same vein. Yesterday, I caught all 3 kids rolling cigarettes underneath the oil tank. They were making them out of Band-Aids and tea bags and lighting them. Lord only knows where they got the lighter.
Yeah.
There were later consequences for Dory. She had become friends with a little native girl named Dorcas Paul. The following summer, after the kids smoked under the oil tank, Dory eagerly went down to the native village to renew her friendship. But Dorcas's mother wouldn't let Dory play with her daughter until Dory assured her that she did not smoke. She didn't want her Dorcas to be friends with a hard-boiled 9-year-old smoker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'd never heard that story before either.
So when are you hearing these stories?
When we're sitting in the office watching the home movies that I took.
So like recently?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, 3 years ago is when I started.
Modern times. Gotcha. Yeah. I think you sit on those for a while. But, now it's time to share with Mom.
But I grabbed that story.
Yeah, they probably knew you were working on the book. It's like, all right, Mom, we got some good stuff here.
That's right. Exactly.
At a time when you would like hearing about it.
Yeah.
For art's sake.
Yeah. Heaven forbid if I'd heard about it then.
Yeah, or even 30 years ago.
All 3 of our children say they sort of grew up in the business, seeing how their father made a living, picking up on the synergy of an operation in motion. How if a worker dropped out, he'd need a replacement immediately, or the entire line would shut down until they figured out how to do without someone. They experienced the camaraderie and saw how workers who came didn't want to leave, which is kind of interesting because our workers came from a little town called Angoon.
Yep.
And we would send over a barge to pick them up on a specific day.
Mm-hmm.
So the barge would come in and all the workers would be lined up on the beach waiting to leap aboard the barge.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just the workers. It was grandma,
Mm-hmm.
children, dogs.
Whole family.
Yeah, the whole family. And, Lene told the home office, golly, when I hire somebody, I get 12 more people.
Yeah.
Are we going to have enough room in the native village for all these people, you know? Yeah.
Well, that's such a historic, right? I want to say looking for work, right? Kind of a better life where we
Right.
go where the job is, and
Yeah.
then the family goes with, support the worker and just to.
Well, but that was only for the native village.
Yeah.
It was not true for the Filipinos.
Okay.
And it wasn't true for the mechanics or the beach gang.
They didn't come with their families, is that what you mean? Or,
no.
Yeah.
No, it was just the workers.
But it was still a job that they valued and was important. Like this line you said, workers who came didn't want to leave. That's everybody. It was a good job.
It was a good job.
Yeah.
And people came year after year after year. But my reference to didn't want to leave actually came from a native gal.
Mm-hmm.
She was 15 years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere about here, I've got a reading about that.
Awesome. I mean, I like really what you say about, this.
Oh, yeah.
Kids grew up in the business and just like early on learning this synergy of operation and motion, right? Like how important each part is, how important each worker is.
Yeah.
And if somebody falls out, they need to be replaced, or we got a problem here. Like we got to keep this ship going. I don't know. I finally, here we are in summer season in Seward, right? Where work really picks up. I feel like this is a Seward thing now today. Seward has an old-fashioned vibe. There's still a lot of industry, right, with the docks.
The same is true at Seward Fisheries.
Right.
If they have a mechanical failure, for any reason, it's got to be addressed right away.
Yeah.
It's expensive to let 50 people.
Yeah.
Or in this case, maybe 75 or 100.
Yeah.
People go have a coffee break when.
Totally. Yeah. You got work to do.
Yeah. Can you imagine what that costs?
Right. Yeah. I mean, just this idea, like, it's not on your own clock. The work, we got something going on. We need it now. It's like, it's got to be addressed. This, like, even when you're tired, midsummer, whatever job you're doing here in Seward, it's like, well, we have work to do. You better find a way. I think we're all conditioned to, kind of pick it up in the summer and hit it into this high gear, knowing that it won't last forever, and you'll be able to, like us, get more to our art. But I wonder, your kids have gone on to, have their lives and their jobs. Like, is this something that like they carried through and, in their careers, as far as just like.
Well, they learned to work.
Yeah.
And workers they are.
Right.
And they have a reputation for being able to lift heavy things and put in long days.
Right.
Including Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard workers. I mean, do you think that was really instilled in Chatham?
Absolutely. Yeah. Not only Chatham, but the other canneries where we
right
where my husband ran too.
Yeah. That's just an Alaska thing, maybe, working hard.
It is an Alaska thing. Yeah.
You're just around
and
it.
It's physical. It's physical labor.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to read you what Maxine said from Angoon. When I called her up, she was I think, I don't know, maybe 45 or 50 when I talked to her last.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm reading from page 309. Maxine said, at Angoon, there were no bathrooms with hot running water, no all-night lights. Life was easy at the cannery. We couldn't wait to be old enough to work at the cannery. Young natives wanted to move up the social ladder of progress. Chatham was the perfect place to do that. A girl could start at 15 in the egg house, to packing roe in boxes, to sliming, to working on the lines with machinery. As they advanced, they would move up the pay scale. For those of us from Angoon, Chatham was a vacation despite the hard work and long hours.
There you
Can
go.
you believe that?
That's a
a
great line.
vacation. Seward graduates from Seward High School should read my book.
Yeah.
And maybe they'd start working at Seward Fisheries. I did.
I mean, I think kids go to work here, and the high school kids are working hard.
You think?
I'm gonna throw that out there. Yeah,
They-
I mean, but what an insightful line by her. That really built so well, and it's vacation
It is.
despite the long hours. They
Yeah.
want to work. You've moved up the ladder. You've
Yeah.
made it to a place where there's all night lights and hot water. This is the life. It's all
And-
relative.
And they go home with their pocket full of cash,
Exactly.
which has to last them through the year
Sure. Just
Until-
like the fish.
until they come
The
back.
fish
next
and the
year.
berries last through the years.
Yeah.
Same type of
Yeah.
concept, just in a more
Yeah.
modern way.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And here we get into some of this language you're going to get in Boardwalk Footsteps, right? Being at a cannery, the egg house, great. We're wondering, this is where you pack roe, sliming. I could really feel it, so, and, even I will say, like, before I came to Alaska, like, there is this, canneries, you want to go work at a cannery, you can make tons of money. Like, I had heard that, and I'm
Mhm.
from Massachusetts, or just wherever it picked up. It's just, it
Mhm.
has that reputation.
Mhm.
And actually, when I first moved here, we worked and sold out at a cannery. Didn't make a lot of money.
You
but
did.
for a week, I would have done.
Oh, wait.
I would have only done a couple hours.
It wasn't a vacation for you.
I had just got to Alaska. I just started learning hard work because I got into serving tables. I came with no hard work experience, so it was hard for me.
Mhm.
And it wasn't this big check that was sure something, but
Well, the
too hard.
reason it's a big check is that they put in sometimes 16-hour days,
right,
and half of that is overtime.
right. Yeah. And I experienced that a little bit, but I don't. Yeah, there was
I
just a
know.
connection there.
One night, Dory was working at Seward Fisheries,
Yeah,
and she called me up and said, "Mom, we're swamped down here. I've already been working for 12 hours. We
Yeah.
need some help. Can you come down and help me?
Yeah.
Help us."
yeah,
And she was packing roe.
yeah.
And so I did, and we didn't get off work until the following morning
Right.
in time for breakfast.
Yeah, the fish are in. You pack
Yeah.
them. It's good. Get it all done. Well, yeah. There's a time clock there as far as like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's neat. What I love. It's so cool to get this insight on, like, a real cannery.
Mhm.
Back in the day, where having heard legend of just like working in the canneries and how I think people would come up from lower 48 or just
They do.
Yeah, it's good.
But Seward Fisheries now has to get, they were getting their workers as J1s,
Mhm.
but that was shut down by
Mhm.
the government. So now they get them from Mexico,
Mhm.
a lot from Mexico and other countries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is 91.7 KIBH FM Seward. Dot Bardarson is here reading from her new book, Boardwalk Footsteps, about life at Chatham Cannery, which
Mhm.
is a remote spot between Juneau and Sitka.
Yeah.
This is great.
You have a good memory.
Tell you, I'm working here. This is my work,
Right.
and it's fun.
Right.
So yeah, it's great to sit down with you.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, where should we go next?
Well, let's see. When I was at Chatham those 5 summers, I like to stay busy.
Clearly.
And
And, I will. This is something we talk when we touch base a little bit as writers. This
Mhm.
always comes up. You're
Mhm.
so busy.
you're so busy.
I'm like, I'm kind of busy.
Right.
Some of them get a little busier,
well,
but I think that's kind of your
right.
way.
One of the things I did, of course, was write letters to my mother,
Right. Yeah. I want to hear about that. Yeah.
and that's the basis of this book.
Right.
Because, bless her heart, I found all those letters. She had saved them after she died. I found all those letters.
Treasure trove.
Absolutely a
Did
treasure
you have
trove.
letters from her saved? Because this was like a back and forth, I
No.
assume, or was it just more one way?
No,
You
it's
sending
one
letters home.
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she would type them and then send copies
To like.
to her friends.
Oh, cool.
And of course, it was in the days where you had to use carbon paper.
Yeah.
And, there was no such thing as a printer.
Right.
Anyway, so I that's how I occupied my time. And I didn't do much. I didn't do any painting the first year because I didn't bring my supplies.
Okay.
But I did some sketching.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following 4 years, I painted quite a bit.
5 years at Chatham.
5 years, 5 summers. Mm-hmm.
So like writing letters to your mom, how often was that? Like
every day?
Really?
Yeah. I kept my typewriter set up, and if I thought of something, I'd go over and type it.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily sit down and type a long
letter. You just had like a running.
Yeah.
You might do a couple sentences, go do something, come back, got another thought for you, Mom.
Yeah, we had plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
And she was fascinated. She'd never been in a cannery.
Right. That was her book.
Yeah, yeah.
So like what mail would get picked up? Like would she probably receive several?
The mail was pretty amazing.
Okay.
That brings me to the point that Lene was also the postmaster.
Right.
Lene was the postmaster, the cannery superintendent, the medic. He had to remove halibut hooks from people's legs.
Yeah.
And he was God.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of bowed down to him because everything stopped with him.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, those are 3 big jobs.
Yeah. Right.
One guy.
Right.
3 jobs. Plus God.
Plus God. God's pretty big.
Good guy to be married to.
And then the other thing that I did, the last 2 years I was there, I worked in the egg room.
Yeah.
Myself, and I had to do all the jobs because I was the person that they would call if somebody dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
So get yourself down there.
Just like when Dory called you a Seward fish, you're the relief.
Same thing.
Stay ready, Mom.
I was the relief.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're an important person.
I don't know where I was going with all that.
No, this is great stuff.
Yeah. Now let's see what I got here. Oh, I found ways to contribute to the cannery. That was my other job.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an official job, and I can assure you, I did not get paid. I did get paid for processing roe.
Yes.
$2.50 an hour.
Okay.
Because that's what the workers did.
Yeah.
But there was no room in the books or whatever for creating a paycheck to Dot Bardarson, who's spending the summer at Chatham.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but women didn't get paid in those days half the time.
Okay.
Just the men. A woman's place was in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Except at a cannery.
Right. Yeah.
And I expected to be paid for painting a huge sign.
Yeah.
That went over the warehouse and could be seen from the water.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful sign. I'm proud of it still.
Yeah.
And I kept my hours, and I went into see Lene in the office, and I said, here are my hours. And Lene said, what? What's this? And I said, well, I'm sending an invoice to New England Fish Company so they can pay me for the signs that I've been painting.
Yeah.
Remember, I said, I painted the first ones for nothing, but when I did the big sign, I wanted to be paid. Dot, we can't do that. I said, crestfallen. I said, why?
Yeah.
He said, it's a privilege that you get to come here and be here and watch me work and bring the kids. And I should have said, because I thought of this later.
Right, we always
but
do.
what about all the other wives that came? You know, what did they do?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I wasn't paid, And the years went by, and Lene said finally, yeah, you should have sent that invoice in. You should have been paid for that sign. That was a gorgeous sign.
So what did the sign say? Chatham or
Said New England Fish Company,
yeah,
Chatham, Alaska.
yeah, very big.
Yeah.
What
big.
colors we talking here? Paint the sign again for us.
You know, all the buildings are cannery red.
Oh, okay.
And
That's a
so I used cannery red, and after all, that's the paint that they had on hand.
Right.
I didn't have any choice.
Again, self-sufficient
And-
supplies.
And white.
Yeah. So the sign was red and the letters were white. Is that how you did it?
No, the other way around.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Red, cannery red letters,
And
white
then
sign.
the carpenters made a nice frame for it, and that was also red.
Nice. Is that, you have a photo of that in the book? Sign.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We could,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
we
there
can
has
find
to
that.
be.
We don't need it because I can
No.
see it perfectly.
That's right.
So cannery red, this is a color on your palette.
It's
like brick kind
It's
of,
been
right?
on my palette ever since Chatham.
Yeah.
I
It's
still
nice,
like it.
rich.
Yeah.
It's like brick.
Yeah, it's like brick.
Cool.
Yeah. A little bit redder than brick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like Kennecott mine for some reason.
Yeah.
Does that have that hue?
It's funny that you should mention brick because there was a pile of brick behind the carpenter shed. And I kept looking at that pile of brick every time I went up to the house. Did I mention that there were 79 steps to the house?
No. Not 80.
No,
But close.
not 80, but close.
That's a lot. Well, there's your workout.
So I said to Lene one day, you know, there are all these bricks behind the carpenter shop. Why don't we build a barbecue?
Yeah.
I could get all the workers from the native village to help, and it would be their project.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's in the book.
Nice.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of brick in Alaska. I mean, I could be wrong,
No.
like where I've been.
No, and these were pretty rough hewn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like brick.
I do too.
So it's a good color.
It is.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. You know, you
Mhm.
going to the superintendent wanting to be paid. He's also your husband, and just like the times.
Sign
That's
of the
nice to hear how,
times.
you know, he went back that, you know, you should have been paid. But you can imagine, tough spot for both of you there.
Yeah.
I imagine that was a bit of a butting heads. And
That's right.
it's like, look at this sign. They did a
Yeah.
lot of, they got used to that gratis work you were doing, you know?
hmm Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the cannery,
Yeah.
if I can find the page. Well, let's see. Let me see. Oh, I'm reading from page 304.
Okay.
Dory has mentioned how, as an adult, she looked back and realized the privilege that she and her brothers had as white children of the superintendent. But she also noted the hierarchy and class system in the cannery was only able to work as well as it did when respect was shown. This is from Dory.
Mm-hmm.
The slimer respected the fisherman who delivered the salmon. The patcher admired the slimers for tirelessly and quickly preparing the fish. The retort man esteemed the patcher for not missing a single can. The superintendent respected all those working for him, from the mess hall cooks to the native village, to the Filipinos and the Japanese technicians.
All depend upon each other.
Yes.
You see that
The
synergy.
synergy.
Yeah, there it
Mhm.
is again.
Yep.
And respect.
Yep.
Some more great language here coming from the canneries, Slimer, the patcher. What does
Mhm.
the patcher do?
The patcher is actually, there are several patchers.
Okay.
So the cans come down the conveyor belt
Yeah.
and they're full.
Yeah.
and they have to, and they're weighed. They're automatically weighed, and they're weighed just like this,
Okay.
instantly.
Yeah.
When a can is kicked out,
Yeah.
the patcher takes some salmon that's in another place over here,
Yeah.
and fills it until he gets
It's the weight.
until
He's
she
patching the
gets
hole.
the right weight.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll
And
happen quite a bit.
And I'm sure that's still happening.
There's patchers down at Seward Fish.
Because the machines can't be totally accurate.
No, we've learned that.
Yeah.
There's just more machines.
That's right. And
You
you
need
don't
patchers.
want any underweight cans going out on Safeway shelves.
Yeah. That's great. And then with the next line, was it Steamport? I'm sorry. What was the next role? I might have wrote that down. Who's after the patcher? Who respects the patcher?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I
right.
stopped my notes.
The retort man.
Retort man. What are they doing?
The retorts are the big cylinders in which the canned salmon is cooked.
Okay. Gotcha.
So everybody from, well, and he didn't mention, I didn't mention here, but everybody from the time we shipped Sam Cannon out, everybody in some position before them was respected.
Yeah. That's a good company.
It's teamwork.
Right.
Yeah.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yeah. That's right.
Shout out. Yes, that's great. Retort. It's great to learn about canneries. I like that.
Yeah.
91.7 KIBH FM Seward. Dot Bardarson here, reading from her new book, Boardwalk Footsteps. Dot now entering the author sphere. And you wrote these letters to your mom way back. You've always written a bit, but this is your first.
Well, I also kept journals. I have a journal for practically every year.
Nice. Did you lean on those a bit for putting together this book as well?
No.
Okay.
I only used the letters. That was my journal.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. So
Yeah.
do you actually use, do actual letters appear in the book?
Yes.
Like with to mom and.
Yes.
Nice.
I think they're at the tail end of the book.
Cool.
Oh, letters from mom.
So there's that, but when you say you use the letters, it's more so to recreate this remember Chatham, right, through what you wrote to your mom.
That's right.
And all those
That's right.
details you had in there.
No, at the very end are letters that Lene wrote to me.
Uh-huh.
The 3 years before he became superintendent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information there too, because he's wanting to educate me about his job.
Yeah.
He got the job because the superintendent in 1960, 61 and 62 died of a heart attack.
Okay.
Just before the cannery was supposed to open.
Oh.
And Lene had been the assistant.
Okay.
So he had basically studied underneath the superintendent.
He was in line.
So he wasn't flying blind.
Right.
But oh my gosh, what a pickle he was in when it turned out that 1963 was a bumper crop of salmon.
Oh, okay.
And that created all kinds of problems because the cannery couldn't handle
that much fish. Yeah.
That much fish. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Salmon was the.
Yes, salmon.
Yeah. And were you guys out there year round? I mean, salmon's is the run. Okay, so
no.
What was the schedule really for the family? Just curious.
I'm not quite sure when I arrived, but I think it was in late June.
Okay.
In time for the first opening.
Yep.
And then it would go all summer.
Yep.
And we did some red salmon.
Yep.
And then we went into pinks and canned salmon was mostly pinks.
Yeah.
And then we did some dogs.
Okay.
And chum salmon at the end of the summer.
It was all canning. So that's what it is. Fresh fish
all
comes
canning.
in, you put it in
all
the cans.
Canning, yeah.
Patcher.
No
fills in the
freezing.
holes,
Like Seward Fisheries, they have big freezing operation.
Yeah. But like now, like you think of fisheries canners, there's not necessarily as much canning going on. They're breaking down fish and shipping it out, right? But it's not always canned. I don't know. That seems more like an old fashioned. Again, lost in the weeds. You don't have to answer that.
No.
Okay. Great stuff. I mean, these excerpts are great. You're dropping into them so nicely. I think this is going to be a really fun show for people to take in. I mean, I want to ask. You have a few more. I know we have at least one excerpt. You have a couple more.
I do.
Let me ask this question though, because this, as you find, I'll kind of get organized. I know we have that last one you wanted to save. Are we up to that yet?
Yeah. Well, how's our time doing?
We're okay, but is that? Do you have more than just that one?
I wanted to read to you from the book.
Yes.
About one of my jobs that I volunteered to do.
Right. So that sounds like a volunteership.
Yeah, that was the name of the game for
I say
me.
these things too. It's a job.
And I saw that the store was shambles.
Yeah.
So I went down to the store and I said, "How can I help?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, first of all, you can take this adding machine up to the house and
fix it."
Today you would say it'd make a spreadsheet.
Okay. Yeah.
My job was to take the handwritten sales from fishermen who use the store to service their crews on boats,
Yeah.
And of course the nickel and diming that went on from people who were at Chatham. So this one day they closed the store.
Okay.
Because they got so far behind
on the books.
Well, I did the books. That wasn't the problem.
Gotcha.
The problem was too much inventory hadn't been put on shelves yet.
I see.
This sort of thing. So they wanted to catch up, and they had a bunch of boat orders.
Okay. I
know Safeway has this problem in Seward, too.
Stocking.
Yeah. I'm reading from page 155. Several customers came banging at the door, and if they were insistent enough, we'd open it a crack to see how urgent the request was. We allowed a couple of fishermen in to pick up orders or buy something off the shelves, but that was it. The store was simply closed. One youngster wouldn't be denied, however, and pounded on the door. Clint opened the door a crack. "Is it important?" The little boy shoved his foot in the door like an experienced door-to-door salesman and shouted, "Yes, very important. I have to get it for my mother. I have to get it in the store." "What is it that your mother needs so desperately that she can't wait until morning?" "Candy. My mother's got to have candy." Clint rolled his eyes at me and told our little would-be customer that the store would be open in the morning and he could come back for his mother's candy then. Sounds simple?
Yeah.
"No, my mother needs it now," the boy roared and rained fists on the door, foot firmly wedged in the crack. I lost it. I laughed so hard till I cried as Clint tried to convince the boy that his mother would survive without candy one more night. He finally managed to extricate the little foot from the door, though the ranting and pounding on the other side continued for quite a while, making me helpless with laughter.
Nice. So this was in the book. You get these great little anecdotes.
Yeah.
So that's something
Yeah.
you wrote your mom. You know,
Yeah.
like right here's a little story. This is
Exactly.
what happened today. Great image there. The little foot in the door. He's got to move.
And, it's basically a mother with 3 small children living in a place that's completely foreign to them.
Yeah.
And having adventures. Oh, yes. And then there was the bear. Let me see if I can find that in here.
That sounds adventurous.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a bear story.
Yeah. Alaska literature.
Right.
There's the salmon there.
Well, let's see. No, that's the Slammers. Let's see.
Seward Sound Words. We're back with a new show here. July. 91.7 KIBH FM Seward.
Well, I'm going to have to tell you about the bear because I can't
be
find the, how it is.
You got
Look at all these tabs.
Tabbed up.
Each tab represents a little story that I wanted to share.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't enough time to share all those. Anyway, I'll tell you the story. So I was up at the house. The children were out playing. And I heard something on the back porch. And I kind of suspected that it might be a bear. So I scooted down and walked, hunched over to the door that had a window in the middle of it, like your window here at the station.
Yeah.
And then I slowly raised my head so I could see. And guess what? A bear was right on the other side of the window. And the 2 of us looked at each other. If there hadn't been a window there, I could have smelled him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Face to face.
So I ducked back down again and ran through the kitchen and went over to the radio and called Lene. Lene, there's a bear up here at the house, and I don't know where the children are. And he said, I'll be right up.
Yeah. So
he came up
79 steps.
Yeah. Packing a gun, a rifle.
Yeah.
And I just pointed through the kitchen, and I said, he's on the other side of the door, So he went out there and very carefully opened the door, and slipped out.
Yeah.
But the bear by this time had gone into the woods. He could see the bear standing there. And so he shot the bear. And then by this time, the children had come home and come roaring in the front door.
Mm-hmm.
This was the back door.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, Daddy, did you get it? Did you get the bear? And then they expletives in front of the children. We won't repeat them. No, he missed. And he was so embarrassed because he prided himself on his marksmanship.
Yeah, rare miss, moving target.
And he said, now the whole Camry will know that he missed shooting the bear.
Did the job. Everybody's safe. Hazed him out of there. That's good. Good bear story.
Right.
I mean, that's frightening. Where are all 3 unaccounted for kids? They're out there. Huh. Yeah. Did you see many bears there?
No.
Like I was picturing, kind of.
We saw bears if somebody told us about a bear. We could go out on the dock or something and see a bear eating the carcasses of fish.
Right.
Fall.
But that was a special occurrence. That wasn't like a regular.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But Lene did warn me. He said in August, he said that the bear, the fish offal underneath the docks is getting ripe.
Yeah.
And it's going to draw bears. So tell the kids don't go anywhere near.
Right.
Near that.
Yeah. Stay away from the awful.
Right. Awful.
Awful place to be. That
there you
awful.
Go. Right.
Yeah, these are new words for me.
Right.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes we got to go up to the dam which was a nice outing for us. And Lene would bring his gun with him on that little trip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how far it was. It seemed like a long way at the time because
Hike out there.
Yeah, because we were hiking uphill.
Sure.
And we were being very, very cautious because of the bears.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got up there, the kids could wade in the
swim.
clear water.
Nice.
Oh, and speaking of the dam and the reservoir, one of my friends I talked with one of my friends who lives in Petersburg now,
mm-hmm.
and she was in her 20s, early 20s when she worked at Chatham.
Mm-hmm.
She said a bunch of girls would go up to the dam and swim in the reservoir.
Nice.
And so the boys got word of this, and they sneaked up there hoping to find all these nude swimmers, but was very disappointed because they were wearing bathing suits. Anyway, Lene finally, the word finally trickled down to Lene in the office, and he said, Kitty, we can't be swimming in the reservoir. That's our drinking water. So he put a stop to that, but he certainly understood what fun it was.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the children, they couldn't bring toys with them. Dory did have Chatty Cathy. Okay. And I think maybe the boys had a little truck or something that they put in their suitcase, but
toys weren't a thing.
But the native village, they didn't have toys either.
Yeah.
They made their own.
Yeah.
They made their own toys. There was one boy, he was about 12, who would take the floats from fishing nets.
Yeah.
And he'd carve a perfect replica of a boat shape.
Cool.
A seiner.
Yeah.
And then he'd rig it. He'd put a mast, and then he'd rig it.
Yeah.
And he used dental floss.
Uh-huh.
And then he'd attach a string on the bow and attach that to a stick.
Yeah.
So he could float the boat.
He'd drive the boat
around. Yeah.
Throw it in the water and.
These boats were so clever. I bought one. I paid him $1.
Yeah.
And I bought.
He had a whole fleet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your kids
he did.
they'd have races probably.
His father, of course, was a fisherman.
Cool.
Yeah.
Those floats are made of like what material? It's like a plastic or would have been.
I'm sure they were plastic.
Yeah, there's something carvable.
Yeah, the original floats would have been cork.
Oh yeah.
And when did we shift to plastic? So they might have been cork.
Yeah. Oof. Do you still have your?
No, it didn't survive.
Like how big were they? Like kind of
about that big.
Nice.
About a foot long.
Toy boats.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
So not a place for toys, no problem.
No.
They had a blast.
Kids. They'd also get into a skiff that might be up on the beach and play pirate.
Yeah.
Or some other simulation.
Right.
The kids.
Imagination.
Kids do not need
No.
commercial toys.
No. They're outside.
They're outside. One of the things they did was they'd go to the place where lumber was stored.
Yeah.
And they'd take a piece of lumber. They'd start at the bottom, and they'd place a piece, another 12-foot board.
Yeah.
On the bottom one, overlapping.
Yeah.
And then they'd do it all the way up this hill.
Huh.
And then they'd sit on the top board and slide down. Genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius.
Yeah. Lumber slide.
Yes.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I mentioned before that I may not have wanted to know everything that the kids did.
Yeah.
Like they'd put rocks on a conveyor belt to see if it would go from the cannery into the warehouse.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they run into the warehouse. And of course,
Yeah.
they weren't allowed in the
Yeah.
in any of these places. But
They kept busy.
they're investigative.
Yeah, sounds fun. Yeah. Is there a lot of painting in the book, or?
There's one chapter that tells exactly how I make a watercolor.
Yeah,
and I think artists would be very interested in that chapter.
Yeah, you are a watercolorist,
yes.
Correct? Like that's your. Do you ever do some other mediums? Everything I see of yours, that seems to be. And I love watercolor.
I did a lot of printmaking. In fact, I taught printmaking in Point Hope in 1977.
Cool.
So.
But watercolor.
But watercolors. When I went to college, one of my art teachers took us out to paint on location.
Yeah.
And now that's called painting in plein air.
Right.
And I painted a service station.
Uh-huh.
And I just loved that painting. I fell in love with watercolor that very day. Nice. And I had to take ceramics, I had to take oil paintings, I had to take jewelry making, sculpture.
Struggle through
when
all
you
that.
Major in art, you take all these mediums.
But you knew with that service station is like a gas station.
Yeah.
So like that one, what made you love it? Like
I liked the colors, and I liked the activity, and I liked the history.
Yeah.
All the same things that I liked about the things that I saw at Chatham.
Yeah. You could convey what you were feeling.
But it would take me 2 or 3 trips to get everything down to the location, wherever it was.
Right.
On the docks or on a boardwalk or
getting set up
in the native village. Getting set up.
Yeah.
So I made my first painting in 1964, and the cook said, "How about making a painting as seen from the cookhouse?"
Yeah.
So that was my first commission.
Yeah.
I got paid.
Yeah.
I got paid for something.
There we go. That's how you get paid in Chatham.
That's right.
For the work you're doing.
Yeah, he gave me money, cash, you know.
That had to feel good.
Yeah, and as a result, that gave me the incentive and the confidence to paint quite a few paintings in Chatham, and some of those sold.
Cool. To people who lived in Chatham.
Well, actually, fishermen.
Okay.
Yeah, and one was a fish and wildlife guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just came through Chatham. What you got? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, here you love it, right? I love this. Oh, I can make money too. Boom. This is how I spend my time, my free time. What a little free time you have working and taking care of the kids.
But like all artists, I didn't do it for the money. But oh boy, was I happy to see the money.
It really gives you the energy,
That's right.
Keep someone from giving it up. I want to say, sure, no, that's well put. Not for the money, but money is nice to kind of sustain your the proof of that
and eventually money is necessary.
Of course, yeah.
And so when I came to Seward, I was definitely painting for money.
Mm-hmm. Still the love's there, but you got to make a living, and you got something here.
And I always liked to paint old buildings.
Cool.
I just loved painting old buildings because I tried to bring the history of that building to life.
Yeah.
And in Seward, I have none of my original paintings from that era.
Oh.
Not a one.
Wow.
They all sold.
Yeah. There's
one
on
in
walls, and
there's one in the
preserved.
First National Bank.
Okay.
Maybe 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I worked at Christo's Palace, when I first moved here, and I
yeah.
remember some prints that really stood out to me, like up near the front. There was a Jesse Lee home one with like the kind of children's spirits, right? Kind of had like that kind of spiritual element drifting in.
Mhm.
And there was another one of old Solly's, now the Parks building, which of course you could see right from Christo's.
That's right.
And those meant a lot to me. Like I would look at them, there were puffins as well, a lot of your artwork there.
Mhm.
And I was like, Dot Bardarson, like, wow, like it just seemed like big time.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
and it just spoke to me, just kind of being new to Seward, being on that block.
Mhm.
And of course the Jesse Lee home, like that's such a big historical thing.
Oh,
just
I
coming
hate to
Seward.
even think how many paintings I did of the Jesse Lee home.
Why? Because it's just a lot.
I loved the history.
It was you talk about old buildings. I mean, what more?
Yeah, and it
like
had
it's a
several vantage points. So
right.
I did it in the winter.
Yeah.
As well as in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about like even you don't have physical copies of these paintings? What about like digitized? Like, do you have some Jesse Lee paintings of yours that you can look at?
I do.
Some fashion.
I do.
Because that's good.
I do.
Especially that building, like Chatham, is gone.
That's
so
right.
like for art is a way for things to live on and becomes part of history.
That's right.
So that's important.
Exactly.
That's important for Seward. That's
well, and I'm hoping that Seward will make a park up there.
Yeah.
And
it's a good site. Yeah. Well, that's important for Katuchik, that's great.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good.
So anyway, I'd set up and I required a place that was comfortable to sit or stand, a place where I could lean my board on, that I had watercolor paper. I needed bug spray, protection from the sun.
Yeah.
And then all my paints and stuff like this. So I had them all spread out.
Yeah.
On whatever I could find.
Right. Stump.
Oh, what do you call those things that carpenters use?
Sawhorse.
Sawhorses. I always looked for sawhorses.
Yeah.
And or a box.
Yeah.
Anything that I could drag around until I got it into the right vantage point.
Right.
And getting it into the right vantage point is extremely important.
Yeah.
Because something looks better from this point of view than it does from over here.
Yeah. She'd probably be hopping around a little bit, right?
And I had to use things that the workers wouldn't need. They'd come right over and just take it away. You know? So I had to be very careful to figure out what they could do without this afternoon.
Yeah. And then once you're set up, how long are you painting for?
I think
depending on the
it varies.
Yeah.
As to how complicated the view is.
Yeah.
And how many onlookers you have asking questions. Interruptions. How many bugs you have to.
Yeah. Well, would you say like the setup is at least half the time?
No.
Okay.
No, I'd say the setup probably took a half hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you're painting for maybe a couple hours, 3 hours, 4?
Yeah, probably. First, I had to sketch.
Right.
Sketch in very lightly.
Pencil.
Hoping to get the perspective right.
Yeah.
And so forth. And then in those days, I put the sky in first.
Okay.
Then I had to wait for the sky to dry because it was very wet.
Yeah.
On wet paper.
I like that. Wait for the sky to dry.
Then I started getting into the fun part, which was laying it in and then the detail work. And people used to come up behind me and on their coffee breaks or something,
Right.
And
they'd say, let's go watch.
Oh yes, let's go watch Dot paint, right? And they'd say, oh, look at that detail that she's put in there. She doesn't miss any detail. And I never even thought about it. I'm just painting what I see,
Nice.
Or inventing something that I don't see because it needs it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice interruption. Getting that feedback, like this is really good,
Oh yeah.
Still an interruption.
It's still an interruption.
There's some great stuff in there.
No, I never minded the interruptions.
Yeah.
But my favorite part was at the tail end when I was really into detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could relax and say, okay, this painting is going to be a success.
Mm-hmm.
Because while you're laying it in the first place, you have lots of doubts.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, because with watercolor, it's hard to make a correction.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Yeah.
And you work from light to dark.
Okay. You always do the lighter colors first. Okay.
Whereas with oil painting, you go from dark to light, generally speaking.
Okay. Interesting. And then, the watercolor is one go, right? Like it dries, and that's you don't go back and add more. It's kind of that one.
Well,
ideally,
if it hangs around the studio, you might.
You can go back at it.
But generally, you want to get it framed right away. And once it's under glass, you do not want to change anything.
Whereas oil painting, you hear, painters will paint for a long time. They'll go back and touch it up. And where watercolor, it's kind of like, all right, this is it.
Once you get that glass on there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I've always liked watercolor. I think it's a fun one to kind of enter painting where they're children. I think of too, like where I'm like kind of at the level with my kids of just seeing how it develops. You kind of make a mark. I mean, so much I feel like with visual art is like your eye. Of course, like having a good hand and being able to draw nicely, but to be able to see when that mark you made is working, and that's enough.
Exactly so.
Yes. It's the eye more than like your steady hand or technical drawing ability. It's like being able to.
And there's so many parts to a watercolor. I mean, the drawing. Some artists will just start painting without any drawing at all.
Right.
But with something that requires perspective.
Yeah.
The vanishing point.
Yeah, sure. Or even to stay within to keep the wash from.
Well,
I like it.
Yeah, right.
I was good on that eye comment though.
Yes.
But now it's back to writer.
Yeah.
Painter, writer.
Exactly.
Yes. Let's stay in our lanes here.
It's actually easy to stay within the line if you're using what they call a dry brush.
Okay.
The brush isn't really dry.
Right.
But it's not sopping wet.
Gotcha.
Sopping wet means that the pigment is going to spread.
Yeah.
And that's what I do that's what I did in the skies.
Gotcha.
And I wanted it to spread. And I could tilt the board a little bit to make it
cool.
Make it spread more.
Yeah. Love it. Great stuff.
I eventually abandoned that sky idea and became more controlled.
Nice.
We
evolve.
We evolve. Exactly.
We got it. There we go. We found it together. This is great. I love hearing about all this, the painting, getting into the art details. And we've talked about, details, right? Yeah. With the patcher, we're on the line. You got the cannery and now details with painting. I think you're going to get a lot of details in this new book by Bardarson, Boardwalk Steps.
Boardwalk Footsteps.
Thank you.
Boardwalk Footsteps, a memoir of an artist at a remote Alaskan cannery.
There you go. And there's Dot on the cover, painting, plein air.
I think I'm about 35 years old in this picture.
That's a great photo. Yeah. Is that the cannery in the?
Yeah.
Nice. We got some cannery red coming through.
Right.
I know you have another excerpt. We're getting. How you feeling on time?
Well, I could launch into this.
Yeah, that one the closer.
As a matter of fact, how much time do I have?
Well, I
because
need to get back to my
here,
family pretty
page
soon. But
271, I could make it longer.
Well, this is that one you wanted to close with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do what you want. The full length. Okay. I know you've been saving it, and then we'll kind of get toward the wrap up. Thank you all so much for listening today to Seward Sound Words here on 91.7 KIBH FM Seward and on our YouTube channel. That's at Sacktown. Listening to Dot Bardarson read from her new book, Boardwalk Footsteps by Cirque Press. You can hear Dot read live. I know you are now, but be in person and perhaps purchase a book, have it signed, talk to the author artist at the Seward Community Library coming up here on August 5th. We have a local reading going on there to celebrate Seward Cirque Press Books. Dot Bardarson, Shauna Pataki, Doug Capra will all be reading and sharing from their new works. And Dot does have a show currently up at Ranting Raven of watercolor art, including some originals, big pieces.
Including Giclées.
Giclées is right, which is a print.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Probably my most memorable letter to my parents was written during my 4th year at the cannery. This morning, I reached the pinnacle in Chatham Adventures when I was asked to escort a woman in labor to Juneau via a Cessna 180 in case she needed help. I wanted to go to Juneau anyway to look over photos that the Air Service was commissioning a Christmas card from me. Her contractions were at 3-minute intervals. So I grabbed a few items in a flight bag, a couple of pieces of string. You wouldn't know what to take, but I did.
Okay. Yes.
A clean bath towel, a pair of scissors, and of course, my camera. The children were involved in Bible class provided by the floating mission for most of the day. So I singled out each child and I told them Dory is in charge and they were to stay around the office between classes to be near Daddy while Mommy was away. Impatiently, I waited at the airplane float, but women kept coming to the float to give me a progress report. It appeared that the contractions were now 30 seconds apart, and there was doubt that Genevieve would be making the trip at all.
Yeah.
The women were excited, clucking like chickens and running back and forth. So naturally, I had to investigate the situation. From the busy little shack, I could hear the plane landing. A blanket had been strung across the tiny bedroom to act as a divider between the activity and the mother's 3 very small children, who were sitting on the metal double bunk. A porcelain dishpan of gently boiling water was on the coal stove, sterilizing a pair of scissors. One gal seemed to be in charge, a nurse, someone said. She turned to send somebody for some string, so I fished around in my flight bag and pulled out the 2 carefully prepared pieces of twine, which we dropped into the boiling water. Just then, the pilot was coming up the boardwalk wanting answers. Was she coming? And if so, let's go. No, he wouldn't wait around for her to have her baby and then take her to Juneau. She probably wasn't going to have the baby for 3 days anyway. Standby charges $45 an hour, etc., etc. By this time, Lene had come on the scene and was wringing his hands and pacing the boardwalk, chatting nervously with Dean and moaning, "Oh my God, I can't stand it." I ran back to the little dry shack just in time. You'll have to read my book.
That's right. Excellent. Hear that, Seward and Alaska readers all around. You'll have to read the book. Love it, man. Cliffhanger. Slick. Like
well, it has a lot of little stories.
That's
like
a great
that
scene.
in it.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to really digging into this book and enjoying it.
Good.
It's definitely, yeah. A lot to be
Okay,
excited
you
about.
can get it from Dreamland
Right.
Books.
Yep. Here we go. Do your thing.
Ranting Raven,
Yep.
Frontier Foods, Susan Swiderski's Gallery,
Nice.
and 360 Hotel.
Boom.
And
Great
if any
spots.
other stores want it, they should give me a call.
There we go. Nicely done. I mean, the Ranting Raven sounds nice. Go see the art show, purchase the book, get the full Bardarson experience,
Yes.
and perhaps some other nice work of
Yeah,
art.
I put some books out for my show, and they all sold except one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Ranting Raven might be out. Yeah.
No, I brought reinforcements.
Of course. Listen, yeah. You need to teach me how to promote here. This is fantastic. I took a lot of notes. All right. And this is just for the show and for, my artist life. So thank you very much.
Well, you're entirely welcome. I felt honored.
Likewise, of course.
And it was fun talking about the book. I don't think I've sat down yet with anybody who spent an hour with me just chatting.
No, that's why we do it. It's a blast, so let this, as you're on this book tour, this book ride, here's a little more wind in that toy boat sails, and you got a lot of fun things coming up with that August 5th reading. Of course, the book is very young, new to the world. So I know you're enjoying it, and there's just more fun things ahead as readers start to read. Have you heard from people from Chatham, like since the book came out? Is that part of this, like kind of
I am surprised that I haven't heard from people in Angoon.
Yeah, okay.
I'm getting a lot of feedback from workers or anybody else who's at Chatham.
Right. Well, that's great.
I haven't heard, except Filipinos. I haven't heard from any of them.
Do you know that the book's got to Angoon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they already have
Gotcha.
books.
Yeah. Well, I've learned, with putting out a book, like the reader, the person, even if they know you, it's not an obligation to reach out. We've given them the book experience, and I've learned just be happy that they've gotten that, and just know that you're providing this. Of course, with this, it's so much more than just an entertainment and art experience. You're taking them back to the history of this important place.
That's right.
But I believe in that, but I bet you will here. I mean, that's a neat part of doing such a heavy lift on a book
I'm
like this.
I'm having some serious back and forth emails with people.
Awesome.
Including people who live there now.
Yeah.
The cannery burned down.
Yeah.
I think in 75 or 6 or 7.
Okay.
And we revisited it.
Oh, okay.
And that revisiting is also in the book.
Oh, cool. That must have been powerful.
But it was absolutely horrible to look at the space that was left after the cannery burned down.
Yeah.
We climbed up to our house. Our house was in good shape.
79 steps.
So they made a kind of hunting lodge place out of Chatham.
Okay.
And I guess they're maintaining the boardwalk.
Okay. Kind of repurposed.
Yeah, but yes, like the mess hall, I'm in contact with the woman who was living in the mess hall.
Yeah.
But the mess hall has since collapsed into the bay.
Okay. An important book for Chatham, Angoon, Seward, of course, with the connection with you. Important Alaska literature being added, thanks to the hard work by you and Cirque Press to put out more and more of these Alaska stories.
I hope
wonderful.
so. Yeah. I've read several of Cirque Press books, and I enjoyed every single one of them.
Yeah, it's a great thing going on. We've really been able to connect more really through Cirque Press, which has been awesome. We've been able to talk like this, and I really enjoy it. I'm grateful for it. I really appreciate it.
Is she going to do your book on children?
Yeah.
Children's book?
Yeah, done deal.
Oh.
That's for another show. I already mentioned I worked at the cannery. That was too much sharing. But yeah, Cirque Press, yeah.
I read book number 5, I think it is.
Oh, the stories.
I just loved it.
This is, thank you. It's coming out early 26.
Right.
Thank you so much, Dot. Let's carry on the conversation in Seward. I look forward to checking out your show at the Ranting Raven, reading your book, and just being in touch as artists and as Sewardites.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time. This was really fun.
Yeah, this was.
All right, we're going to sign off here for our summer edition of Seward Sound Words with special guest Dot Bardarson. Thank you very much.
Well,